So it's time to finally get to this stuff. This is the bag that they gave me at the hospital to put all my stuff in. My shoes, my Liat pants that they had to cut off of me. Here's my sock that they didn't cut off of me. They just ripped this thing off of my heel. Here's my chesty, my pads, knee pads, elbow pads, and my camera foam wind thingy. 25th. So it's been a little over a month since the crash now. And this is my road to recovery. There's the bike, pretty much unscathed. My bike and my truck made it home safely. So grateful to my buddies. Heard what had happened. They're like, is there anything that we can do? They drove all the way out there, over an hour, and then back to grab my bike and the truck, and that was a huge help. I was still in the hospital when that happened, so they just came and dropped it off at the house, and so grateful for them. Glendon and Christian, if you ever see this, thank you so much. Sound check 3, testing, volume, testing, levels. All right, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys spending some time with me. So it's been about 6 weeks since this happened. And it was pretty rough. Those first few weeks, the hospital, the surgery, the first few days at home, I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. But I'm finally starting to feel like I'm making a little bit of progress. So I wanted to share just where I'm at with you guys. Before I get there, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you who have watched the crash video, who've reached out. Thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you for the well wishes and the encouragement. And for many of you as well, thank you for checking in on me, especially all of you who have actually sacrificed your time and to come and help me get some things done around the house that I'm not able to right now. I just kind of want to share like what the past 6 weeks have really been like, the pain, learning to move again, the mental battle, the first doctor's visit when I got my splint taken off. I feel like the first phase was, my bone actually fusing back together. I'm at the end of that phase right now, and I'll be starting physical therapy next. So that'll be like the next phase of my recovery. But let's talk about pain and pain management. Let's start with the obvious. Breaking your ankle in 3 places hurts. It hurts a lot. A moment I remember most vividly wasn't even the crash itself. So the first responders got there. They wanted to take a look at my ankle. So one guy like grabs my calf, my shin area, and the other guy is trying to take off my shoe. They realize that it's kind of on there tight, so they like unlace the thing, and then they had to take off my sock. And so like they had to get that thing up under my heel, and then so that they can pull it off. And that was the worst pain I've ever felt, because I've got these 3 breaks that are pretty fresh, and even with all the adrenaline and everything, when they were like pulling on my sock to pull that thing up over my heel, I was like clenching. Every like muscle in my body was just completely like flexed. And finally they pulled it off, and I felt like I was just going to pass out. I mean, the pain was nuts. Later on, when I got to the trauma center, it was funny because the doctor saw my riding pants, and they're kind of like tapered at the ankle. And so he was like, hey, look, you've got 2 options. I know these pants are expensive, but we can either try to pull them off of you, or we can cut them off. After the experience that I had with the sock, I was like, dude, just cut these things off of me. I do not care. And then I was like, wait, why didn't they cut the sock off of me? Like, I care much less about a sock than I do about my riding pants. But anyway, it was too late at that point. But that was brutal. It felt like they were pulling my whole foot off. If you guys are in this situation and the paramedics show up, just be like, cut it off, cut the sock off, cut whatever off. You don't want to go through that. So the days after surgery, that was pretty rough too. I was rotating between pain meds, icing, and just trying to stay still. Sleeping was tough, but every day got a little bit better. And now, 6 weeks in, I'm completely off of pain meds. I was taking Celebrex as a pain med and as a anti-inflammatory because the ankle had gotten so swollen. And they had given me some Norcos. And honestly, I didn't really want to take that stuff, but some nights the pain was just so bad. In order to just get some rest and get some sleep, I would take one of those, and like within a half hour, you would just start feeling just this like incredible feeling of relaxation, and you're just so calm. The pain is gone, and you just drift away into oblivion. It was nice having that when I really needed it. I went from riding my bikes, which I obviously can't do right now, but I've been testing out 3 new rides. My crutches, which are reliable, but man, do they kill your armpits, and they're pretty tiring. My knee scooter, which is super fun and fast, but it's a little sketchy on the turns, and you can't go up and down stairs with that, obviously. Kind of a pain in the butt to travel with it as well, because you got to fold it, put it in the trunk, and then get back to your car, hop over there to the front seat. And then I also have this really cool gadget that was given to me by a good friend of mine who's a doctor. It's called the iWalk 2.0. It's basically a pirate leg. It's pretty awesome. Each one of these things has its strengths. I have them like placed around the house in different areas where they are best suited. Like the scooter's obviously downstairs. I live in a 2-story house. So it's downstairs. It's really convenient for when I'm on the couch and I just want to like get up and roll over to the bathroom or go to the kitchen, get something to eat. I just roll on over there. But as I mentioned before, the scooter is cumbersome to travel with when you're actually leaving the house to go somewhere. And it also can't go up and down stairs. So then I also have the crutches, and the crutches were mainly upstairs, and I was using and depending on those a lot when I was moving around upstairs. Getting in and out of the shower, the crutches were really helpful. That was super sketchy, by the way. Like showering with one good foot was probably more dangerous than anything I've ever done on a mountain bike, to be honest. And then I've got my pirate leg, and that is probably the most versatile tool that I have. It allows me to walk around. My hands are free. I don't have to be grabbing onto handlebars. I don't have to be grabbing onto crutches. So I can essentially walk, and I can do things with my hands. You do have to be careful though, because when I first started using it, I wasn't lifting my leg as high as I should have been. And sometimes as you're taking that step with the peg leg, like it'll hit the ground and kind of get stuck. And I had a couple of sketchy moments, but I learned pretty quick. It also has this handle near the front, and you can grab onto that as you're walking and kind of pull it up, and makes it a lot easier to walk around. None of these things are super comfy. After a while, they all are pretty taxing. The knee, the scooter and the peg leg make my knee really tired if I'm using it for a long time. And then the crutches, of course, I mean, you're having to sustain your weight every time. Your palms start to hurt after a while. Your armpits start to hurt if you're supporting your weight on them a lot. I mentioned earlier the showering. It's slippery tile, one leg, trying to keep that cast dry. It was like a circus act, to be honest. Forget double black diamond trails. This was a real danger zone. I'm pretty stoked now. I'm beyond like the plastic cover for your leg now. Today was the first time that I showered standing up. I've been sitting in a chair in my shower for the last 6 weeks, and that's just difficult and a little sketchy as well. But it was really nice, like when I didn't have to cover the splint anymore, when that was off, and now that I can actually shower standing up, it's progress, man. I'll take every bit of it. It's been really humbling. This has been a humbling reminder of how much we take simple mobility for granted. I mean, just being able to get up and walk from one place to another is such a huge blessing. and I have realized, what a challenge it is, especially for those that, are permanently disabled. I completely like feel for them and the daily struggle that they go through. Physical pain will fade, but the mental side, that's the real challenge. They take the mental game very seriously. When I was at the hospital, I was interviewed, I think, about 3 times and evaluated for my mental health. Um, the nurses were telling me that when things like this happen, it's very common for people to fall into sadness and depression, and they were monitoring that. I was honestly very fortunate, I guess. I had a lot of support from family, from friends. I had people come out to the hospital and visit me. I had phone calls and texts coming in quite a bit during those first few days and even long after. Um, but I got to say, like, you know, a few weeks go by, and when you're all alone, um, and the texts have kind of waned and the phone calls and stuff, I did start feeling a little bit sad and even depressed, I think, at times. So it is serious, and it's real. It's a real thing. So you got to be aware of that, and you have to. I think the key for me was just staying connected and remembering that this was not um, a permanent state. That things were going to get better, even though sometimes it felt like they weren't. I felt like my wounds were not healing as fast as I wanted them to, or like the pain was not going away. Um, One thing that I still worry about is the neuropathy in my foot. Like I still, that around the incisions, I touch my foot and it feels like I'm touching somebody else's foot, like it's completely asleep. And I'm hoping that that will come back. But little things like that sometimes really discourage you. So you have to be careful about that, and you have to stay connected to the people that you love and people that are there to support you, and have hope, be positive, look towards the future, and every day, count your little wins. I think was a big help for me. 3 weeks in, I had my first post-op visit with Dr. Weber. Huge shout out to him. He's been amazing. He did an incredible job putting my ankle back together, and him and his staff have been really, really helpful just during the whole healing process and after the surgery. Um, but that first visit, I got some good news. He said that the bone was healing well, and the alignment looks perfect, he said. I was able to get my splint off of my leg, and I've officially graduated from the splint to the boot. Still, for the next 3 weeks after that, he had asked me not to put any weight on it, so I was relying on my scooter, my crutches, and my peg leg. So that first visit was also the first time that I was going to be seeing my ankle since the surgery, because I had been knocked out for the surgery itself. And the next thing I knew, I woke up in a hospital bed and my foot was all wrapped up. So I didn't know what it looked like. Um, I have footage. They allowed me to film when they took my splint off. And I'm going to show that right now, but I just want to let you guys know, it is graphic. You're going to see incisions and staples being taken out. So just fair warning, if you don't like to see that kind of stuff, I would skip this next part.
Looks good.
You can take a look when you handle it. Holy crap. That is a bunch of staples. This was crazy. I had no idea that I had so many staples in my ankle. And I was kind of worried. I knew they were going to take them out, but they were like ready to start pulling them out, and they hadn't given me any anesthetics or any medicine. And I was kind of afraid that it was going to hurt.
Wow,
that's crazy. I don't feel that at all.
Well, that's good.
But honestly, I have still so much numbness in my foot that I couldn't feel anything. So as she's taking them out here, this cool little crimping tool just kind of opens up the staple and she's just plucking them out. I had probably, I don't know, 20 to 30 staples altogether. There was 3 total incisions. They had to do one on the right side of my ankle, one on the left, and then one right on the top of my foot, like right where the joint is. But yeah, it's pretty amazing seeing the work that went into putting my ankle back together, the plates, the screws, the stitches, or the staples in this case, all of it.
Why does it feel so numb still?
Could be nerves. We have to cut through tendons and nerves and everything, so it takes a while.
The human body and a good surgeon, it's all pretty amazing. So at this visit, the doctor said that it's going to be a few more weeks, about 3 more weeks before I was able to start weight bearing on it. And even then, it would be partial, like with the assistance of crutches or some other device. Still a long way, but at that point, it was moving in the right direction. I had my second appointment 3 weeks after that, so 6 weeks total. So this was just like a week ago that I had my second appointment. And at that time, he said, okay, you can start putting some weight on it. And the first time I tried was really painful. Like just touching my heel down to the ground, it felt like just these shoots of pain would just shoot up my leg. Almost like you guys remember, if you ever remember like jumping off of something barefoot, like on a cold day and your feet hit the ground and you just get these like, it felt like lightning shooting up your leg. That's kind of what it felt like every time I would step. I was able to like very gradually shift my weight from my right foot to my left foot, but just the impact of regular walking was very, very painful. That's gotten a lot better, I'm happy to say. I'm able to get around pretty quick with crutches, putting partial weight on my broken ankle. And I've even like taken some steps without anything, with no crutches and no peg leg or scooter or anything. I just have to be very, very slow, very careful, and of course with the support that that boot provides. Um, I am not supposed to be putting any weight on it without the protection of the boot. I have to a little bit when I'm getting in and out of the shower, but again, it's painful and I got to go really slow, especially because the shower is a slippery place, so you got to be very careful. So the next phase of my road to recovery is the physical therapy. Um, After all of this, as you can imagine, my muscles in my thigh, my calf, and around my foot have gotten really, really weak. And so I have to strengthen those again. And also, my ankle is super stiff. I have very, very little range of motion right now. And it's pretty painful to try to push beyond the little motion that I do have. So the next phase is going to be physical therapy. And I've talked to many, many people who say like physical therapy is so, so important. Don't don't cut corners there. It's going to hurt, but in order to regain all of your strength and your mobility, you got to do it. So I feel up to the challenge. I just recently, yesterday, got approval for physical therapy with a good friend of mine who actually rides as well. He's been in some of my videos. His name is Scott, and he has a physical therapy business. It's called Body Basics. And so I've been approved to start physical therapy with him. I'm looking forward to that. I'm grateful that I get to do it with somebody that I know and that I trust. So stay tuned for that. I think I'm going to kind of document that whole process. It's interesting to me. I don't know yet what I'll be doing to regain this mobility and this strength, but I'm going to be filming it if they allow it. So I'll probably be making a video of that if you're interested, or if you've gone through this, you might be interested in watching and kind of comparing to the things that you did or they had you do. So that's where I'm at, 6 weeks in. I'm about halfway through my recovery. All in all, it's been painful, it's been humbling, and honestly pretty eye-opening. But every day is a step forward, a scooter push, a peg leg step closer to getting back on that bike. So thanks to everyone who's reached out, sent messages, or just watched and supported this journey. I can't wait to share more updates with you soon. Like I said, physical therapy is next on the menu, and eventually I'll have that first ride back. All right, guys, appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching.